Has the latest release of the MacBook Pro given graphic designers, video editors, and creative professionals the laptop they need for reliability and performance? All that's coming at you right now. If you're new to the channel, my name is Benji Kaiser. This is where you're going to find the best tech and tools for graphic designers and creative professionals. If that sounds like your kind of place, consider subscribing and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. You guys have no idea how excited I am to get my hands on the new 16-inch MacBook Pro. Since I tested the latest 15-inch MacBook Pro, my confidence was beginning to restore in Apple's interest to satisfy the needs of creative professionals like myself and so many of you watching this video. But I still had my doubts. Overheating issues, keyboard malfunctions, and laggy performance were all still a concern to me. Let me say this is all over and so much more. Now, if you're curious about the exact pricing or model that I'm reviewing, you can head down into the description below and click that link. Now, that is an affiliate link, so if you do make a purchase through that link, I will make a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. But that's what keeps this channel alive and this helpful content coming your way, so I greatly appreciate when you use those links. Now, the screen, honestly, the boost to 16 inches is really not a huge deal. But what is a big deal is the fact that they have fit this 16-inch screen in a laptop that is barely bigger than my favorite model, the 15-inch 2015 MacBook Pro, which, by the way, has a 15.4-inch screen. So they've only given us a total of about 0.6 inches in upgrade. I mean, that's still great. They've still fit this really nice screen into a really compact system, but it's not this huge screen, this large difference between the two models, especially comparing last year's model to this year's model. The color gamut range, it's wonderful. I mean, the screen's great. It's a True Tone Retina LCD display. They've boosted it to a resolution of 3072 by 1920, and it reaches 100% gamut range of Adobe RGB and P3. So the color accuracy and sharpness is as good as ever. There are some really nice upgrades, though, that I'm sure most of us were not expecting. First one to talk about is the number 6. That is the number of speakers hidden below the keyboard deck of the 16-inch MacBook Pro. And let me tell you, it makes a big difference. Crisp tones, low bass, and clear vocals. Check it out. The previous models have relied on 2 speakers to deliver your tunes, and this unexpected upgrade goes to show how Apple still cares about the user experience of its consumers. You don't want to hear the speakers on my Dell XPS 15. They are simply awful. I like my Dell XPS 15 for certain aspects, but overall I am once again impressed with Apple's thoughtfulness on all aspects of their machine. Although Apple still has a built-in webcam that only pumps out 720p quality video, they have upgraded the microphone to what they're calling studio level performance. This is the 720p webcam as well as the studio level microphone. So let me know if it stands up to that level of quality. What are your thoughts in the comments below? The scissor switch keyboard is back and it feels, well, just like the old one, which is probably the biggest compliment you could pay this laptop. They've given a 1mm of travel to the keys to the former 5.6mm given to the butterfly keyboard, which I will say I did not mind after using it during my tests of the previous MacBook Pro. If you're curious about that review, you can check it out. But that does not mean I preferred it by any means. I love longer key travel, and that's what this new scissor switch delivers. Now, I've also noticed that they have a more even disbursement of the key when you press it. So what I mean by that is the keys aren't going to have that odd wobble that you sometimes experience on more budget level laptops. When you press it, it's going to be a nice firm press. And that really makes a big difference in typing and the feeling of quality in the laptop. The trackpad. This is something that's been really overlooked over the past 4 years since the butterfly keyboard has been introduced. It's big, it's beautiful, it's responsive, and it's capable as ever. It's still, in my opinion, the pride and joy of this computer. After spending the past 4 years on the Dell XPS 15, I must say I'm happy to be home on the MacBook Pro's incredibly engineered trackpad. I went through my entire college career on a MacBook Pro trackpad, and I couldn't last 2 days on my Dell XPS 15 trackpad. So this trackpad is truly the pride and joy for graphic designers and video editors who want to be on-the-go creators. The ports. Yes, I still loathe the ports. The lack of usability on the fly, and simply just the lack of ports. Think about it. You start with 4 ports on this machine. Okay, but wait, now you need to charge your computer and hook up 2 screens, which I do every day. Now you have 1 port left. I don't know about you, but my workflow demands much more than 1 port outside of my standard day-to-day hookups. So I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm disappointed about that. They didn't add ports. They didn't add an SD card slot. Some of the basics for creatives, but Apple will be Apple, so we have to suck it up and keep moving forward. The battery, with the new 100-watt battery, which is FAA approved for flight, Apple's claiming 11 hours of battery life, but those battery tests are run at 50% screen brightness while browsing the web. But according to my graphic design and video editing tests, you're going to be getting anywhere from 6 to 8 hours of battery life. So it might differ a little bit for you depending on how hard you're using Photoshop or InDesign or Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro, but for me, that's the amount of battery life I was seeing. Okay, now that we've talked about all the usability aspects, let's dive into the performance. I'm reviewing the base model, the i7 model. I considered purchasing the maxed out model, but I wanted to review the base model's performance. You should not have to spend any more than necessary to get a high performance machine as a creative professional. So let's dive in to see if this was the right choice. So the model I'm reviewing has the Intel 9th Gen 6-core i7-9750H processor, 16 gigs of RAM, the AMD Radeon Pro 5300M with 4 gigs of GDDR6, a 512 gig solid state hard drive, and it weighs about 4.3 pounds. I have taken a 9-minute 4K clip, put it into Premiere Pro, and it exports out that 4K clip at full quality settings in 5 minutes and 41 seconds. Now, if you want to save some time and you want to export that same 9-minute 4K clip to 1080p, you can export that in 1 minute and 39 seconds. Most video editors, including myself, are concerned with playback. So can you edit and playback a 4K clip within Premiere Pro without any lagginess? And with this i7 model, you sure can. In order to take that test even farther, I opened up a YouTube video and started editing a photo within Photoshop while doing playback in Premiere Pro. And as you see, there was no lagginess. It continued to play back at full quality settings. So this computer is very fast, and I've actually done a test between the i9 and the i7. I was able to get my hands on the i9, and you can see the differences in performance with these two machines. Now, I will say some of the biggest differences between the i9 and the i7 is going to be the amount of heat that the computer produces and the amount of noise the fans produce when they kick on to cool the machine. In order to improve the performance on the 16-inch MacBook Pro, they've added a larger heatsink and thicker fan blades to cool the system. This has worked very well. However, the fans in the i7 version had to kick up pretty high to keep the machine running cool and fast. While exporting this 9-minute 4K clip, the laptop was reaching about 56 decibels of noise from the fans. Now, that's not awful, but it is noticeable. And if you're curious about the exact pricing and the model that I purchased, you can head down in the description below, grab that link, and make a purchase there if you're ready to buy. This review should not have celebrated such simple achievements. Many of the things mentioned in this video are things that Apple should have been accomplishing for the past 4 years. But due to Apple's quest to create the thinnest, high-performing laptops, they goofed up a little. But I can say, with near perfect confidence, outside of what to expect with the keyboard, we don't quite know how that's going to respond. It is a semi-new design, that Apple is back in a big way. I'm Benji Kaiser of BenjiKaiser.com. I thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you here on the next episode.